Hi and welcome to Ghent, a city with a fascinating history, going all the way back to the 600s. Its location on the confluence of the Lys and the Scheldt led the city to flourish and to have an important role throughout the Middle Ages. The old center of the city has been well preserved and offers awesome sights. Nowadays, Ghent has become a popular tourist destination, and many students pick Ghent as a study destination. It has about 265,000 inhabitants and also a nice tram network, which I will show you today. The history of the tram goes a long way back, to 1874. In this year, the first horse-drawn tram drove on the streets of Ghent. In the year 1898, the first electric trams made an appearance. But instead of an overhead wire, the trams used batteries. This was however not very successful. 5 years later, the network received overhead wires. Throughout the 19th century, the network expanded to 11 lines. But later, throughout the 1960s and 1970s, this decreased again, due to the rise of cars and buses. One tram line, Line 3, became a trolleybus line until its closure in 2009. This became a bus again. From the 80s and especially since the 2000s, the network has started to slowly expand again. The network has therefore seen quite some reshaping, expansions and rerouting. The current 3-line network exists since 2017, since Line 21 and 22 were merged into Line 2, following the expansion to Zwijnaarden Library. Let's take a look at the network's features. The tram network of Ghent uses a 1000mm gauge, and the trams are powered by 600 volts overhead wires. The total length of the network is about 30 kilometers. Contrary to other networks in Flanders, but also most other networks in Europe, Ghent is using bidirectional trams, which means trams have two cabins and doors on both sides. The tram network is operated by De Lijn, a company that operates the vast majority of buses and all trams in the Flanders region. Ghent's current tram network consists of 3 lines. Line 1, Ghent-Flanders Expo to Evegem Brielken. Line 2, Zwijnaarden to Melle-Leeuw. And finally Line 4, Ghent-UZ to Gentbrugge, Moskou. All lines offer connections to the main railway station of Ghent, St. Pieters. Line 1 and Line 4 also meet at Korenmarkt, the central square of Ghent. And the tram depot is located in the district of Gentbrugge. However, some trams have to be stored under the E17 highway due to a lack of space. The network is rather atypical in terms of its layout, with most of the lines meeting each other multiple times, some interlining and some interesting one-way sections. One interesting layout is where the lines meet at St. Peter station, in a sort of roundabout. And as you can see on the screen, the Ghent tram really knows how to deal with its medieval surroundings. This means we will move on to the next topic, the fleet. The line uses 2 types of tram in Ghent. Ghent has, normally, 67 trams in use. 41 of these are of the type Hermelijn, which are made by Bombardier and are based on the NGT6 family of trams. In the case of Ghent, and also Antwerp, the most customization was related to the narrower gauge. The Hermelijn consists of 5 cars and can transport up to 250 passengers at one time. The name Hermelijn came about through a contest amongst drivers. The remaining 26 trams are of the type Albatros, again a nickname for a type. In this case, this type is part of the Flexity 2 platform of Bombardier. These trams have a higher capacity with 378 passengers, due to their stretched length of 7 cars. Ghent also still has some trams of the type PPC in reserve, in case there are not enough Hermelijns and Albatrosses available. So what's up with the future? Well, this looks very bright. There is an expansion of the network in the works, although things get pushed back pretty often. The network will eventually get 2 new lines. These are the completely new Line 7 and the revival of Line 3. Also an extension of Line 4 is being studied. The project of the new Line 7 and the extension of line 4 has the working title Brugsepoort, but for now construction works are only foreseen in 2027. Yes, 5 years from now. The revival of line 3 still has no clear timeline. So I hope you enjoyed this video about the trams of Ghent. Having experienced it myself, I found it convenient and offers you very nice views along the way. If you'd like to see more of my work in the future, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for watching.